Good morning. Today is Thursday, June 4th, 2020. This week's Parsha is the Parsha of Naso. And famously, this week's Parsha is very, very long. And a gigantic chunk of it is one portion near the end of the Parsha that describes in repetitious detail the gifts brought by the Nesiim, the princes of each of the 12 tribes, when they were dedicating the Mishkan, the sanctuary that was completed. It was completed just short of 1 year after leaving Egypt. That is almost the first year, that is just before the first Pesach in the desert. And when it was completed, on each day of the 12 days of dedication, each Nasi brought a gift, and the gift was a number of items. And the Torah tells us the details of each gift of each of the 12 Nesiim. What is astounding is that the 12 gifts were identical. That is, all 12 Nesiim brought exactly the same items, animals for sacrifice and wagons and utensils, but everyone exactly the same. And the Torah tells us in great detail, instead of just copy-paste or, everyone did the same thing, the Torah tells us everyone. And so you have 12 paragraphs that are literally, without exception, identical, except for the name of that prince bringing the gift. So, for example, on the second day, the Torah says as follows: Bayom HaSheni, on the second day of the dedication, Hikriv Nesanel ben Soar Nasi Yisachar. The offering, or the gift, was brought by Nesanel, the son of Tzoar, the prince of the tribe of Yisachar. And then it goes on and lists the details of the gift. Bayom HaShlishi, for example, the third day, Nasi Livnei Zvulun, was the gift of the prince, the Nasi of the tribe of Zvulun, whose name was Eliav ben Chelon, Eliav the son of Chelon. For all 12, completely identical paragraphs, except for the name and the tribe of that day, with one exception. There's one discrepancy in the pattern, and that is on the first day. The first day says as follows, the Torah says as follows: B'yom harishon, on the first day, Nachshon ben Amminadav l'matei Yudah. The offering, the gift, was brought by Nachshon, the son of Amminadav, from the tribe of Yehuda. Do you hear the discrepancy? It omits his title. All the other ones, it says Nasi Yisachar, Nasi Zvulun, but for 11 of the tribes, it says the name of the Nasi, and then his title, he was the Nasi, the prince of the tribe of so-and-so. Only for Yehuda, the tribe of Yehuda, when it mentions its prince, Nachshon ben Amminadav, it omits his title. It just says his name from this tribe. We know of Nachshon ben Amminadav famously from the passage of Kriyas Yamsuf, for the splitting of the Red Sea. The entire Jewish people are up against the sea just after leaving Egypt. Paro's army is coming after them. There is nowhere to escape. Hashem says, Moshe prays to Hashem, and Hashem says, what are you praying to me for? Go, walk, go into the sea, which is a hard thing to do, to walk into the sea. Of course, until you know the story of what happens. But before the story of what happens, it's a pretty hard thing to do, to just walk into the sea. And Nachshon ben Aminadav, Nachshon the son of Aminadav, jumps into the water. And as he enters the water and the water comes up to his face, that's when Hashem provides the miracle, Kriyas Yamsuf, the splitting of the Red Sea, and the entire Jewish people crosses through safely on dry land to the other side and saved from massacre from the army of Paro. Nachshon is the one who, with his courage and his heroism, jumps into the sea and causes this salvation to the entire Jewish people. So, we know Nachshon. But why is his title not mentioned? So I want to share with you an answer that is given by Rabbi Shlomo Gansfried. Rabbi Shlomo Gansfried is most famously known to us as the author of the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, the concise code of Jewish law. Not to be confused with the Shulchan Aruch, which is the code of Jewish law, but the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch is a different work written in the late 1800s, a very important work. And Rabbi Shlomo Gansfried wrote a number of other important works, but he gives the following answer. He says, titles and respect for what titles represent, that's important. A person should take pride in their accomplishments, in the titles that they have earned, especially when they require extraordinary effort and diligence, and titles should be used with respect for someone who deserves them, and a person should be proud of the titles that they have and should be proud to use them. 11 leaders of the Jewish people use their title, the prince of their tribe, the Nasi. And they use their title legitimately. And the truth is, for those 11 leaders, we would not know that they are leaders without telling us their title, because those 11, we do not know their names from anywhere else in the Torah. Their names are not mentioned anywhere else. So we only know that they are the Nasi because their title is mentioned there. But, says Rabbi Gansfried, real leaders don't need titles. Nachshon did not need to be called a prince or a leader because his actions spoke louder than any title. His actions announced his greatness. A number of years ago, you may remember, or it might be before your time, there was a great general in the United States Army, General George Marshall. And he once said, there is no limit to what you can accomplish in politics as long as you do not care who gets credit. I would add, there is no limit to what you can accomplish in life as long as you do not care who gets credit. To be courageous, to accomplish great things and not have an inflated ego, and not feel that it's about me, but rather about the work that I do, the people that I serve, the actions that I perform. Only 1 out of 12 leaders was on that level. Only Nachshon. No title was needed. And that is the kind of leadership towards which we should aspire. My friends, have a great day. Stay safe. I hope to see you again soon in person.